I think that's the most exhausting part of content creating is
Hmm.
like you feel like you're kind of spinning out sometimes
Yeah.
and you're like waiting for that like your all of your hard work to pay off and then sometimes it just doesn't when you expect it to.
Yeah.
And
No.
then it's like, well, okay, like do I give up? Like I'm disheartened, like what do I do? And I feel like that's something that every content creator struggles with is that like what we call imposter syndrome.
Right.
And I'm just here to tell you, like, keep doing your thing. Just keep
Yeah.
doing it because I was so close to thinking about quitting streaming
Yeah.
back in October. And then here in February, I'm Crytek Partner.
And now
So, like,
what made you stick with it?
I love it.
Yeah. Welcome to Tarducks, a podcast for content creators to come on, share their stories, experiences, and advice. And today I have Morgan. Welcome.
Hi.
So glad you're here with me today.
Me too. Me too. Thanks for having
No
me.
problem. So, what we normally do with the pod when we get started, we start with 3 random questions just to get, the vibe going. Are you ready?
Oh, no. Okay. Yes, I'm ready.
They're not hard. These are just
Okay.
like, okay, all right, here we go.
They're not math questions,
No,
right?
God, no. No, this is easy.
Okay,
This is
good.
like, there's no math, there's no history. No, it's just okay.
Okay, good.
All right. So, what place would you like to travel to that you've never been to before?
Oh, that's easy. Australia. Easily.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Last movie you saw?
Oh my gosh. Does it have to be new?
No,
Or
it's
just
whatever
in general?
whatever movie you just last saw. There's no testing on this.
The last movie I watched was The Blair Witch Project from like way back when.
Wow, that is going way back. Holy
Yeah.
cow. Wow, you're like in a retro mode with, we were just talking earlier, you're watching the Amazing Race, no, not Amazing Race, Survivor
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
Blair Witch. Holy cow.
I'm just like I'm feeling the throwbacks right now. I don't know
Yeah.
why.
All right, nothing wrong with that. All right, last question. What did you
Okay.
want to be when you grew up, when you were younger?
Oh gosh, I wanted to be like a billion things. Like I had
Yeah.
so many interests. I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to be at one point a police officer. I wanted to be a scuba diver instructor at one point. And then initially, I guess, well, eventually I landed on being a nurse, and
Yeah.
that's what I did for a while.
Yeah.
But never, ever, ever did I say I want to stream video games for a
No,
thing.
because nobody knew what that was back then.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
for me back then was 40 years ago, but even 20 years ago, nobody knew what
It
that
wasn't a
was.
thing.
No,
Yeah.
not at all. And now, so you're a nurse. What, I guess, that leads me into the next question. What did you do before streaming? So clearly you're a nurse. So at what age did you know you wanted to be a nurse?
Way late, actually. I think I was in my mid to late 20s when I decided to do like that career change.
Yeah.
Because before that, I was a preschool teacher.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, I told you I had like a million interests.
Yeah.
I was a preschool teacher for 14 years. My grandma owned a daycare,
Yeah.
still owns the daycare, going on like 50 years of owning this daycare
Oh,
now.
my God.
So like I feel like when I was 17 and I was able to like work legally,
Yeah.
I was kind of volunteered into it a little bit and I loved it. Like I loved working with kids. It's what I did during the summers, like, when school was out and
Yeah.
I just kind of stuck with it. And then, years down the road, got older,
Yeah.
needed better pay, needed those benefits. And unfortunately, it just doesn't come with that job.
No, not at all. So now back to your grandma owning a daycare for 50 years. So have we seen,
Yeah.
has she seen like the generations of like having one kid turn into an adult to having kids and that type of thing?
Oh, yeah. Many times over. Yeah.
Oh my God. That is so
Yeah.
cool.
Like they will come back to her like in their adulthood with their children
Yeah.
and be like, hey, I went here, I want my kid to go here.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to me.
That is so wild. Oh my God. That's so
Yeah.
cool. Oh, wow. All right. So now let's talk video games. When did video games start for you? At an early age or later on in life?
Way, way early. I think I was not even in kindergarten yet. My mom and I had this like we had a Nintendo and a TV set up. We had like a kitchen nook in our apartment.
Yeah.
And instead of like a dining table, we had this video game nook. And me
Yeah.
and her would play, regular Mario,
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons, and things like that on the Nintendo. in our kitchen. So I think I was like maybe 4 or 5,
Yeah.
and then it just kind of spread from there.
Oh, that's so cool. And now over the years, what are some of your favorite games that you can, look back at?
Oh
Wow, that was good.
gosh. There's so many. Like I remember the Mario franchise being huge, obviously.
Yeah.
Zelda was a big part of that. The Sonic series was a big part of that. And
Yeah.
then moving on to PC, Ultima Online and
Oh
Diablo
God,
and
yes.
Warcraft 3 and StarCraft and all of those. And then
Yeah.
it just it just blew up from there.
Oh,
So
that's so cool. All right, so here's a question. If you have you can only play one more game for the rest, not for the rest of your life, but this is the last video game
that's
you
so
ever play.
unfair.
What is that video? What are you going to fire up and like enjoy that last video game?
Oh gosh, that's such an unfair question. Because there's so many. Like you could either go nostalgia or you could
Yeah.
go with what you're into now. And I
Right.
feel like those are going to
Totally.
be two very different answers.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. I'd probably go the nostalgia route and do the original Diablo.
Oh, yep.
I feel like that's my comfort game. Like when, I just kind of want to unplug from the internet and
Exactly,
not
yeah.
socialize. That's what I'm playing.
Yeah, because that was offline and it was just your own pace, and that
Yep.
that was definitely an amazing game. There's a nostalgia theme I see with you.
Yeah. There's always going to be that like streak within me.
Yeah, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right, so what made you hit that go live button?
Honestly, I don't really even remember.
Yeah.
I was working in the ER at the time when COVID hit.
Yeah.
And I'm chronically ill, so like my immune system is just not what others are.
Yeah.
And so I got COVID over and over and over. So I was
Oh, no.
quarantined over and over and over. And
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I'm playing video games anyway. I may as well go live.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yes, and so when did you find out you had the chronic illness? Was that like after or, before you were a nurse?
Before I was a nurse,
Yeah.
honestly, I was 19 when I was diagnosed with kidney disease and lost my kidney.
Oh my God.
So that was always kind of a thing. Like I was young, I didn't really
Yeah.
have a chance to even be an adult healthy. So
Oh, jeepers. Wow. And then so, being a nurse through COVID, that my wife is a nurse and I just know the struggles, the just the mental fatigue that had on you. That must have been, it's just it was not a good time.
no, it wasn't. It wasn't fun at all. And I'm laughing because it's just like looking back, I'm just like, yeah, that was kind of a shit show.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, no wonder I just played like video games when I was home because I couldn't really like,
Yeah.
I wasn't up for anything else.
Yeah. No, I remember my wife coming home, double mask, the face shield, using a mask for a week, that shouldn't be used for a week. And just like, I think, at one point I ended up making her a little nature trail around the house because, yeah, you were locked up. You couldn't go anywhere. And she just needed to be able to have some place to go and just, de-stress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that was like a huge deal for me was like being able to have my space
Yeah.
and something on my own to do outside of
Yeah.
everyone else. Cause you didn't get moments like that to yourself after that.
No.
Not really.
No. And you spend the whole day taking care of others and just that
Yeah.
stress is maxed out. Yeah.
Yep. Like even beyond like I am surprised that working for as long as I did, like I wasn't working as a nurse throughout all of the COVID
Yeah.
lockdown experience, but that was enough to literally break a human.
Yeah.
And I think I was saved by video games, to be honest, because
Yeah.
I was like, I need something so I can turn my brain off.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like when my wife gets home, it's like she just can't go to bed. Like after 12 or 13-hour shifts, she needs to just turn the brain off. And we watch. Our thing is to watch some TV shows. But yeah, she told me stories about people dying who couldn't see their relatives. It was an awful thing.
Yeah.
And, and to think that this is only a few years ago that we went through this. It's wild.
It feels like 20.
Yes.
It feels like forever ago. Like I
Oh.
feel like I'm still an on-call nurse, but I'm rarely ever like
Yeah.
called in because they know they're like I told them I was like, okay, I'll stay on the roster, but
Yeah.
don't you dare call me unless you have no other options because
Right.
I am more likely going to get sick.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's like a risk that we both have to weigh on both of our ends.
And now, I know we're stepping aside away from streaming and video games, but just I'm curious
Yeah.
because, like, out here in the Northeast where we are, up in New England and Connecticut, the nurse, like, there's a shortage of nurses here. What's, out in your neck of the woods, same thing, or you guys,
Yes and no. We have the nursing school
yeah,
here in my hometown where I'm currently at.
yeah,
And so we have what feels like nurses being pumped out every year.
yeah,
And I feel like the first place that they're going to go is like they're going to apply for jobs that are near them. So I
yeah.
feel like we don't really have as big an issue with that where I'm at
Oh,
currently.
that's
But
good.
statewide, that's a little different.
Yeah,
Like on the other side of the state, they do have a shortage.
yeah. Yeah, it's again, we've off track here, but my wife and I was just talking to one of her friends who went through and got her MBA, and she got out of nursing and went to teaching, and
Hmm.
like as a getting her MBA and teaching, we're talking 50,000 a year. It's like no
Hmm.
wonder there's a shortage of nursing programs out here anyway because the teachers don't get paid enough to do it.
Mm-mm.
It's a scary thing.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, back to video games. So, when you hit that first go live button and people came in, like, were you like, holy cow, how do I act? And, was it
Yeah. I wasn't on Twitch, nor did I ever watch Twitch before I really got it into my head that I wanted to stream.
yeah,
So I wasn't familiar with Twitch etiquette. I wasn't familiar with how Twitch communities worked. I didn't have a Discord at the time. Like
yeah,
I didn't know or want to. I wasn't even on social media. I
yeah,
didn't have Instagram, Twitter. I didn't have Facebook. I didn't have these things. And so
yeah.
like I was stepping into a world that I had no idea about at all.
Wow. And you probably did you have friends that were in that space or really video games were your thing and sort of,
I had one friend that was in the Twitch space,
yeah,
and he was the one that talked me through what your panels should have. Uh, you should have a theme and like think about future emotes. And I'm like, what is that? So he spent like a good month, maybe 2 months with me just
yeah,
preparing to hit the live button.
yeah,
And then on my end, I was doing research on YouTube,
yeah,
watching other streamers. I'm like, okay, well, what kind of streamer do I want to be?
right.
What kind of video games do I want to play? What do I want my channel to look like? So
Yeah,
I spent like a good month or two figuring that out for myself
yeah. And
and hitting. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, and what when you hit that go live button, what were those games that you started out with?
The very first game I ever streamed was League of Legends,
Yeah,
which I don't play anymore.
yeah.
And then The Legend of Zelda from the Super Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually I landed on Dead by Daylight, but I did mostly single player horror games when I
Yep.
first started.
Oh, okay. And now, like, were you tech savvy, or was that another thing you sort of had to figure out with all the,
Oh
the?
yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
okay. That's
I already had the gaming PC. I
yeah,
already like I knew what I was doing. I just didn't really understand the world of Twitch.
yeah, yeah. Because I'm the same way. I started playing Escape from Tarkov, and it's like, oh, people, and then how I discovered Twitch was, just like, oh, before that, it's like, why do I want to watch somebody play video games? And the concept was just so foreign. But once you get into it, and it's not that. It's like communities and so
It
so much
wasn't really
different.
like it wasn't really foreign to me because
Yeah,
I watched people play video games on YouTube. It
yeah,
wasn't live, but it was videos. So I
yeah,
understood like the appeal. I just didn't know if I had what people wanted to watch.
yeah.
I didn't know if I was going to be that person that people would actually enjoy watching.
Oh, okay. And now, when so those first people that came into your stream, are they still around today? Do you remember your first mods and everything like that?
I do. Mods come and go, and
Yeah,
that's just the nature of Twitch.
yeah,
But I still have founders that come in. Not every stream, but quite a few of them. They're still very much regulars of
yeah.
my chat. So
Okay.
yeah.
And now, did you make like when you first started out, you played a bunch of different games. Once you found your genre, did you stick with that, or did you try other games after that as well?
I was always kind of more I guess I was always a little bit of variety from the
Yeah.
very beginning, which I think helped me
Yes.
because I'm not one to play a singular game all the time.
Yeah.
There's going to be moments where I'm like, okay, I'm not really feeling that, so
Yeah.
I'm going to play this. So there were moments where I was like, you know what, I'm not really feeling Phasmophobia. I'm not feeling Dead by Daylight.
Yeah.
So I jumped on Stardew Valley. Like, I always had a little bit of that variety
Yeah.
sprinkled in. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the being the variety streamer is a lot easier if that's how you establish. I think that is a super way to go, like you said, because you're not stuck playing one game and you're not at the, your hands aren't tied to the way that game goes.
Yeah, but it's also really hard to grow as a variety streamer.
Yes. Yep.
So it's kind of that weird balance that you have to find for yourself. Like, yes, you should be playing games that you enjoy. Yes, you should be kind of sticking to a genre to a point
Yeah.
just to have that channel growth.
Yeah.
But I did it from the beginning, so I don't know if that's maybe the trick, but there's
Yeah.
no handbook to this. It just either works out or it doesn't.
You're so right. Like, back to the Tarkov game we had last summer was a really low period for the game because it was just the patch that came out previously wasn't great. And we saw a lot of content creators were like, what do I do? And it was nice to see them break out and do other games because if you're maining a game, that's another level of mental fatigue that will just kick in, I think.
Well, that's the great thing about Tarkov is there's a lot of similar games
Yes.
to Tarkov that you
Yeah.
could play in its place.
Yeah.
So that's the trick, is just like kind of moving with your audience
Oh, definitely.
and
Yeah.
playing the things that they would enjoy to watch as well as you to play.
Yeah, totally. And now, since you hit that go live button, what's been, sort of let's start with the toughest thing. What are some of the hardest things about, streaming?
There's quite a few. I think for me, it's creating those relationships that are with other content creators, because
Yeah.
you always hear the horror stories of like fallouts and drama and
Uh-huh.
people spilling the tea in quotations on Twitter, and it's just, are those the people that I want to associate with?
Right.
Probably not. And
Yep.
it's you find that a lot of people are out for their own success, which is
Mhm.
fantastic. But for me, I'm at the mindset, well, yeah, I do want to be successful and I do want to grow, but I want to do it the right way.
Yeah.
And I want to create genuine connections and friendships with people. And I feel like that for me has been the hardest because not everybody is like that. And in my head, because I'm like that, everyone else should be. And that's just a really naive assumption on my end.
Yeah.
But I think the networking and the building of relationships for me personally as an introvert is the toughest.
Yeah. All right. And now, taking on the other side of it, what's been some of the high points for you that you look back and it's like, wow, that was awesome. I can't believe that happened.
I don't know if I even had like the chance to really look around and like take a breather. 'Cause
Yeah.
I started streaming and then I got Partner within 10 months. And then now up to today, getting Crytek Partner and
Yeah.
participating in the exclusive drops that just happened and things like that.
Yeah.
There's all these high points.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like I'm on a roller coaster and it's not stopping. So I can't get off and take a breather. It's just continuing on like as if, I had just gotten on. But
Right.
there's been a lot of high points in my career, and I'm really grateful for where I'm at.
Excellent. And so, Twitch partner in 10 months. What's the partner story? When did you find out? How many times did you apply?
I applied once
Yeah.
and I got it, I think within, was it 5 or 6 days that I applied?
Yeah.
Which is really quick. Most people have to wait longer.
Right.
I had several conversations with partners at the time though, and I was like, I'm at this concurrent viewer, but I want to grow a little bit more before I even apply. I want to make sure that these numbers are organic and they're not just raids and things like that before
Yeah.
I did apply. I was very like smart about it. I feel like I had that impulse to apply the moment that button like appeared,
Yeah.
but I think I waited like a good 3 weeks before I actually did.
Yeah. Ah.
So it wasn't like I didn't start streaming and work towards getting Partner. I was streaming with the intent of just having fun.
Yeah.
Because I still had my full-time job.
Yes.
So it wasn't like, this is my career now and I have to do this. So it wasn't like that at all. It was, I'm meeting all these amazing people from around the world. I'm having fun with these video games. I'm creating amazing moments for myself. And then the button appeared. I'm like, oh, well, what do I want to do?
Yeah.
Because I didn't even know. So I waited. I talked to a few people and ended up getting Partner my first try.
Nice. Now, where, were you on stream when you got the notification or out somewhere?
No, I wish I was on stream and like they came into my chat and told me I made Partner. Like that would have been really cool.
Yeah.
I was on, it was a day off and I was on a video call with a friend.
Yeah.
And we were playing, I don't remember what we were playing even. We were playing a video game. And they got up to go to the bathroom or go get food or something.
Yeah.
And the email popped up and I instantly started crying.
Oh.
And they were like, are you okay? I was like, yeah, I'm great. Like, look, I made it. And like, it was one of those like really cool moments that I had with my friend, but I wish I was live. That would have been really epic.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
And now, for somebody who's about to hit the go live button, what kind of advice would you have for them?
Don't put pressure on yourself. Just have fun. I see so many like people starting streams and so many affiliates just worried about numbers and worried about sub counts. Just let that just go.
Yeah.
Because the more that you're relaxed in yourself and you're having fun, the more your viewers are going to see that. And they're wanting to tune in for that. But if you look over and your number is not where you want it to be, and trust me, this is from experience, if you look over and you see your number drop, that changes your whole mood.
Yeah.
Just don't worry about the numbers. Just have fun and build your community and just enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah. So many people, say that, have that same, advice. And it's so true. Nobody wants to watch somebody who's not having fun.
Right.
Discoverability is so hard that, you've got to, somebody's coming new into your chat or your community for, 10 seconds. They just see, okay, well, I'll just move on.
Oh, well, they're cranky. They're not, they're not paying attention to chat. They're not smiling. They don't look like they're having fun at all. I'm going to go find a streamer who is. And so that's always been my advice. Like, turn the numbers off. Get rid of those stream summary emails because they're just going to make you feel bad.
Mm-hmm.
And just enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah.
If you don't like the game, play something else.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't like streaming, take a break.
Yep.
Because not everybody's going to support you no matter what mood you're in. And I know that sounds really bad, but that's just how us humans work. Like, we want to be around people that have that vibe and energy that we're craving.
Yep, absolutely. And now, are you full-time content creation now at this point?
I am. Yeah.
Nice.
It's crazy.
It's wild, isn't it?
It's crazy. Yeah. I'm like, well, I was an ER nurse and I was working trauma rooms, and they're like, well, what do you do now? You got to be like a supervisor. So I was like, nah, I play video games. I get weird looks a lot.
I was just going to say, what do your IRL friends think? Like, oh, wait, well, you're a nurse, but now what is she doing? And like, oh, she's playing video games.
They actually were like overwhelmingly supportive. They're like,
good.
That's kind of what I thought you would go into, to be honest. I'm like, okay, that just solidifies that I belong here.
Yeah, good.
They think it's cool. They don't really know how it works or like what Twitch is about. Like, they're more clueless now than I was when I first started, because they don't even play video games.
Yeah.
And they're just like, this is definitely you, but I have no idea what's going on. Like, you know what? That's okay.
And how about Mom? What is Mom thinking? Grandma?
Mom is in every stream. She's lurking. Yeah, she lurks every single stream. Sometimes she'll get a moment and she'll say hi to chat. Chat loves her. She's Mama Bear.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's been supportive since day one. And she's like, she's just one of those people that, roots for you no matter what you're doing, as long as you're happy.
Oh, good.
Gramma has no clue what I'm doing.
No.
I kind of kept it. I kind of kept it to myself.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want my real life family and friends in stream, because I thought that would like break my focus.
Yeah.
Or like, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
like when you have friends and family coming into your stream, you don't
Yes.
know what they're gonna say.
Right. Yes. No,
And I
that's
was like, I don't want you doxing me. I don't want you telling embarrassing stories about when I was a kid. Like, I don't
Right.
need that. So she doesn't know. I love you, Grandma, but
Oh. So now,
yeah.
along the path from first starting to the point where you took this full time, was it a gradual increase, or were there some moments along the ways like you hit a moment where like, I got this, I can do this as a full-time gig?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
For me, I was tired of being sick all the time. I
Yeah.
was like, you know what? I can't do this job anymore. This was, I think, during our second lockdown period
Yeah.
here in Washington, and I was talking to my supervisor over the phone because I was in quarantine, I think for the fourth time at that point. And I was like, I can't do this. It's taking a toll on my body. It's taking a toll on me mentally.
Yeah.
I'm scared to go into work because I don't want to be here sick again for the
Right.
fifth time. And she's like, well, we have some options for you. And so when she laid out all the options for me, I kind of sat on it for a few days. And I was
Yeah.
like, streaming's taking off.
Yeah.
Like, if I put my effort and my energy into that instead of going to work and getting sick and that sapping my energy,
Yeah.
I bet I could do that. I bet I could make this work. And so I talked to her. I was like, okay, I'm going to take option, like whatever it was.
Yeah.
I think I had 5 options and I took option 3. And I was like, I'll stay on with you just to have my foot in the door. I'll keep my license active just in case. Because you never know when that's going to blow over or die down or whatever. I was like, and I'm going to go with full-time streaming. I take the bull by the horns. I'm just going to run with it.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. And it just worked.
Oh, that's excellent. And, you know, back then the quarantine was just not 5 days. It was like 2 weeks or 10 days.
Yeah, it was 14 days at that point for me.
Yeah.
That was what my job felt comfortable with.
Yeah.
And I got stir crazy. Like initially, like, I'm so tired of feeling so crappy. I'm so
Right.
tired of being at home. I'm sick of my couch. Like, I just want to like, you know, just like everybody else, like I want to go live my life.
Right.
But I mean, that's what initially got me into streaming was I was
Yeah.
so bored. I didn't have any social interaction because I lived alone.
Yeah.
I was sick of TV. I was like, I'm running out of things to watch. And my friend convinced me, you know, maybe you should do streaming.
Yeah.
You're playing video games anyway.
Yep. Excellent. Cool. And now when when you started streaming, did you pick a certain, time? Like, were you a morning streamer, evening streamer, or just sort of dabbled through different parts of the day?
At the beginning, I worked swing shift.
Yeah.
So I was a night streamer.
Yeah.
Because that was really what was available to me.
Yeah.
And I just kept that because I wanted to be consistent. Like, that was one of the first pieces of advice that I got from other streamers was be consistent.
Yes.
And it like rings in my brain still. I'm like, oh, my schedule's not consistent. I have to be consistent. So I stuck with that. I tried days for a little bit. Didn't really work for me personally. Like, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
So ultimately I just did what felt natural for me, which is evenings into really late, early morning hours. So I'm basically on OCE schedule right now. So
Nice.
I'm what we call those are the degen hours.
Okay.
That's when I stream.
Nice.
Yeah.
And now, something that, streamers or people who are watching first, streamers for the first time or whatnot. What is that experience like when you get rated by that, that one content creator who's dropping, you go from X to triple X?
I remember the first time I got a raid like that. Never expected it. It was right before I think I applied for partner. And it was somebody that I really looked up to and I still look up to. And she's absolutely fantastic and so supportive.
Yeah.
And I remember first my stream crashed.
Oh,
She
no.
literally broke my stream. My alerts were going haywire because so many people were following and I didn't
my
have
God.
anything organized for something like that.
Yeah.
So she got on Discord and she was walking me through it like, you should do this so that you can mute that, but then these aren't muted. And then she's like, you know what? Like, I got you.
Yeah.
And that was like, my mind was blown for like,
Oh my
the
God.
numbers that she brought
Yeah.
in. B,
Ah,
the amount of love and support that she showed me, a complete stranger,
yeah,
new to streaming, just willing to help me.
yeah.
And C, my stream breaking. I never experienced that before. So I didn't know what was going on. I was like, how do I fix this? Like, I'm on the verge of
Oh
tears.
no.
It's overwhelming in the best of ways.
Yes.
And it's so exciting, but I had no idea what I was doing.
And who was it? Who was she?
Her name is JoJo Says Bree.
Yeah.
And she plays a variety of different stuff, but she's known for Phasmo, and she's absolutely amazing.
Oh, so now how did she find you? Was she just, or did she know
Um,
beforehand, or was just like, oh, somebody's playing this, and let me go raid her?
I was in her chat quite a few times.
Yeah.
I like to watch her because I liked her energy.
Yeah.
We both knew each other from the Phasmophobia
Okay.
category, but she knew that I was like on the verge of getting those partner numbers,
Yeah.
and so she was like, you know what, we're gonna go celebrate that, and she rated me, and it was phenomenal.
Oh, that's so cool. That's
Yeah.
awesome. All right. So now let's shift over to Hunt, is because that's how you and I ended up
Oh,
meeting.
lordy.
I was
Yeah.
in Death's stream, whose Death has been on the pod here, and
Love
you were,
him.
yeah, he's an awesome guy. What a character.
Uh,
And yeah, you guys were playing, and he goes, yeah, you should go check out Morgan. It's like, all right, cool, and yeah, and then that's it.
Yeah,
So how did you meet Death? How did that connection happen?
oh, that's the Hunt community right there.
Yeah.
Like that's the essence of the Hunt community. Like you meet somebody, you play with them, and they're like, oh my gosh, this person is so cool. You should go check them out. And that's how we all know each other. At some point or another, we're like all part of this circle now
Yeah.
because Hunt has such a great sense of community.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember where I met Death. I was just like, you know what, this guy is awesome. I'm fairly new to the Hunt category.
Yeah.
I've only been playing for a year, but in that amount of time, I have met so many amazing, fantastic human beings, content creators, Hunt Showdown players that it boggles my brain just how great and positive that community is.
Yeah. Oh, that's
And
fantastic.
yeah, Death is just one of those people that I absolutely adore from the get-go.
Yeah.
So
Oh, excellent. All right. So how did you find Hunt then? Let's start there.
Hunt found me.
Oh, okay.
Hunt reached out, well, not Hunt themselves. They wanted me to do a sponsor stream for their 4th anniversary.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. And so I was like, you know what? I've seen a couple people play this.
Yeah.
I like the aesthetic.
Mhm.
It literally would calm me down before sleep. I would just watch a Hunt stream and be like, wow, like this is really
Oh,
relaxing.
cool.
I'm gonna go to bed now. So when I had that opportunity to do a sponsored stream for the 4th anniversary, I went for it. I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, like I'm new to FPS. I don't know how to shoot a dang thing in my life, but I'm gonna try. And then I have just been addicted ever since.
And now, what about the game has its hooks into you?
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a well done game. The sounds, the audio, fantastic. The soundtrack, amazing.
Yes.
But then, like you dig deeper, like that's the first appeal to the game. Like the graphics are beautiful and the sounds are amazing.
Yeah.
But then, like you get in that game, and the fights are adrenaline pumping and exciting, and there's so many different ways to play, and there's no right way to play. And then the community gets you, and you're like, okay, nope, I'm hooked.
Nice.
Like I'm here forever now.
And that, what were some of the hardest things to get your head around playing this game?
Oh, the guns.
Yeah.
This was my first FPS.
Oh shoot!
So I
that's
went
right.
from getting Twitch Partner off of Phasmophobia, which is a ghost hunting game,
Yeah.
to Hunt Showdown. Like that jump alone, I think,
Oh, God,
was going to
yes.
have its own challenges.
Yeah.
Shooting and the communication you need with your team.
Yeah.
Getting to know the compounds and strategic movements and things like that were the hardest part
Yeah.
for me initially. Thankfully, I had some great teachers.
Yes.
But I I think, and this is still going to be a challenge for me moving forward, but I'm colorblind and they
Oh
don't have
my
a
God.
colorblind mode. So that's something that
Wow.
I have to constantly think about. And I have to like rewire my brain to
Yeah.
work in different ways. Instead of like looking for colors, I now
Right.
look for other things, or I have to rely on my hearing more.
Yeah. Holy
And
cow.
it's a big game.
Oh God,
You
yeah.
know, you need to work with all of your senses.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, I can't.
Oh shoot.
So that's always going to be a challenge for me.
Yeah. And now it's really not a game you can play solo. From what I've seen watching Death play and other people, it's definitely a team focused game.
Oh, you can definitely play
Oh
solo.
really?
1000%,
Oh
especially with the
cool.
update coming up because
Yeah.
they're making solo play more viable.
Oh nice.
Yeah. I was playing solo. I think I finally had enough confidence to play solo. So you have the option of going solo into duos or solo into trios.
Yeah.
And you'll see a lot of the Hunt Showdown content creators go solo because the fights are more exciting
Okay.
and the gameplay is different. Solo is definitely viable and it's a lot of fun.
Oh nice. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Cool. All right. So now, who do you normally roll with when you're playing Hunt? Do you have a regular
Um,
crew or?
I don't really have a regular a crew. I mix it up because I like to play with people with different play styles.
Yeah.
So if I play with the same people over and over, I'm not gonna be challenged
Yeah.
in the way that I want to. I'm not gonna learn the things that I, wouldn't learn otherwise.
Right. Yeah.
Um, I have a good group of friends that I schedule collabs with every month, and even some new ones. And I like to mix it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you talk about the Hunt community being very welcoming and opening.
Yeah.
How did that compare to the other games that you're playing in that communities?
Um,
As you chuckle.
well, the first thought was like DBD, and I'm like, ugh. I love the game. I
Yeah.
really do. I love Dead by Daylight. I love the game itself, but sometimes the community can be a little bit hard to deal with.
Oh really? Oh
Yeah, and like for me as somebody who is an introverted empath,
yeah.
seeing negativity all the time and seeing toxic end game chats and things like that really turns you off the game.
Yeah.
And that's what happened with me. I was like, I love this game, but man, I can't do that anymore.
And now
And
where does that negativity, the toxicity come from? Is it just from the age of people playing the game or just the game has its own issues?
I don't know because we have a wide range of ages playing Hunt Showdown, and I don't see. I mean, obviously, there's going to be bad apples in every
Right.
game and every community, but I think it's just with a huge game like Dead by Daylight, you're just going to see more of it,
True.
unfortunately. And it seems to be like this game is Dead by Daylight. I mean,
Yeah.
tends to like bring in more of the more like competitive thinking people.
Yeah.
And so when they lose, they're
yes.
gonna rage.
Yeah.
And I see it all the time, and it's like, yeah, I love the game. Yeah, I can turn that stuff off, but then like I'll log onto Twitter and I'll see it there, and
Ugh.
it's just exhausting.
Yeah.
So I took a step back and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try other games. I found Hunt, and Hunt's just like, we love you. Like, you should come play. And I'm like, okay, like I'll go into a Hunt game by myself and
Yeah.
I will VoIP or voice chat to the enemy hunters, and I'll sing Backstreet Boys to them and they'll sing back, and like that's Hunt Showdown. Like,
Oh, that's awesome.
totally okay.
Yep. Oh, that's so cool. Oh man. And so now, just was 2 weeks ago or a week ago, the big event happened, the big drops.
Yeah.
All right. So let's
Yeah.
talk about that. So you had announced something big was happening,
Yeah.
and what was the big thing that happened for you?
Well, I alluded to something like I alluded to a big announcement for like weeks.
Yeah.
And like initially it was supposed to be for my channel rebrand. I was getting new emotes and panels, and I was kind of redoing my whole aesthetic, and like that was really exciting for me. Like I haven't freshened up anything in years. And then I was approached and signed a contract with Crytek to be a Crytek partner, and it just so happened that it was going to be announced on the same day as my rebrand. So I was like, oh, well, this is sneaky. I didn't mean for it to be sneaky, but like,
Yes.
ta-da! It was
Oh,
also the same day that drops happened. So
yeah.
it was like I had this like trifecta of like huge, amazing news like wrapped into one stream.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
And now so let's talk, what is the Crytek Partner, program?
It's just the partner program for Hunt Showdown.
Yeah.
It's so hard to explain. It's still like surreal to me. I'm still
Yeah.
like numb to it. I'm like, am I though? Like, is it real? Like, are you sure? Like everything's been signed. I've only been,
Yeah.
only been a partner for like 2 weeks, but I'm like, yeah. Are they gonna change their mind? Like, are you guys sure? Because this
Are
is
you pulling my
amazing.
leg? Yes.
You're pulling a fast one on me.
Right.
No, the partner program was closed for a while. They weren't accepting applications. They weren't accepting really any new partners.
Yeah.
I was checking their site like monthly. I was like, okay, are they open yet? Nope. Okay, shoot. Well, okay, I'll try again, later.
Yeah.
It's not an easy program to get into. And so like when I was approached, I was just like, you're catfishing me. There's
Right.
no
Are you
way.
thinking I'm the other Morgan or something like that?
Was like, there's no way. Like, I just needed that reassurance. Like, there was a good 3 weeks there. I was just like, are you sure?
Yeah.
Like, is this real? Are you for real right now? Like, are you sure? Like, for like 3 weeks. And even now, David's just like, yes, you're a partner. Stop it.
Oh, that's
But
fantastic.
no, it was it was on my bucket list to become a Crytek partner within the next 5 years.
Yeah.
And I got it for second month of this year. And I was just like, wow, mind blown. It's
Yeah.
just, yeah, it's such a prestigious like partner program. And there's so many great, amazing people in this program that I'm like looking around going, I'm just a Phasmo girl. Like, what am I doing here?
Oh, that's
But no,
awesome.
it's a dream come true. Really, really.
Yeah.
It's like one of those partnerships that you just dream of.
Congratulations. I was so
Thank
happy
you.
to see that, and drops every night. It was like, oh my God, she
Oh
is
my
just
gosh.
blowing up. This is great.
Yeah, that was crazy. Drops week was absolutely phenomenal. Like I didn't know what to expect
Yeah.
because I never participated in the drops. Like I was a viewer the last
Right.
drops, and then before that I wasn't even playing Hunt. So it
Yeah.
was like, it was one of those things of like, I don't know what this is gonna look like, especially as a partner.
Yeah.
And it was beyond my wildest dreams. I was like, this isn't real. There's no way.
And now you talked about a new update that's coming for the Hunt. What are
Yeah.
some of the big things that's coming?
Okay, so it's called Update 1.12. You can currently test it out on the test server right now. I don't know how long it's going for.
Yeah.
But basically, this big update, they make some changes for like a lot of big changes for people who want to play solo.
Yeah.
They've kind of adjusted certain traits so that solo players have a little bit more of like, not an advantage, but just it makes it a little bit more viable and like easier as a solo to kind of be on the same playing field
Yeah.
as duos and trios. There are some compound changes. There's a new tutorial that's absolutely amazing and will help new players
Oh,
get
good.
more familiar. Yeah. There's so many additions. The patch notes are like a mile long and
Yeah.
they're all absolutely amazing. There's new weapons. It's just incredible. This update's going to be game changing,
Oh, good.
literally. Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to the tutorial because, Death had me on his Monday night hunts and he goes, oh, do you want to come? It's like, I have no idea about this game. What am I going to talk about? And it was fun. I had no idea what was really happening. He was there
Yeah.
walking me through it, but, he always says,
Yeah.
I got to get you into it. I was like, all right, well, you know what? When this update comes, I'll go through the tutorial and we'll get together.
The tutorial is amazing. They did a really good job at like kind of giving you the basic knowledge that you need to go into a game.
Yeah.
There's like a shooting range in it. There's
Oh, cool.
it teaches you about banishing. It teaches you about how the dark site works once you pick up the bounty and things like that.
Yeah.
The old tutorial was fine, but it didn't really give you an idea of like the PvP sides of things.
Yeah.
And that's what I kind of needed as a new player going in. Like the tutorial was fine. Like it's PvE, I got this. And then you get introduced to other hunters trying to kill you, and you're like, nope, I don't got this. This will help a little bit more.
Yeah.
So it's a good tutorial. It's
That's
really
cool.
exciting.
Yeah, see, over in Tarkov, there's no tutorials, but what they do have, which haven't seen from other games, is they have a Sherpa program where basically you're an official BSG or Tarkov Sherpa. They take you in, and there's a Discord where people who are trying to learn the game, they can go in and say, hey, I know nothing, or I want to learn about this aspect of the game, and they connect up with a Sherpa to help them walk through different aspects of the game, which I think that's kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. It's not quite like that with Hunt, but you'll find a lot of Hunt community members who are willing to help you through that.
Awesome.
So yeah, they're very helpful.
Excellent. All right. So the other thing I saw recently, maybe it was last month, Roots Are Deep.
Oh yeah.
What's
My
that?
team. It's a stream team full
Yeah.
of wonderful, amazing Hunt Showdown content creators. Yeah. They're
Now,
fantastic.
When did you get invited to that?
The first week of January. I know that I had been kind of like hinting at wanting to be on the team for a little bit, but I
Yeah.
was like, like I know so many wonderful people on this team. And at this point I was just like, I just want to know more people. Like, I just
Right.
want to I want to connect with everybody in Hunt, because I loved Hunt and all of the people seemed great. And I was like, this team right here, this team is full of amazing people, super supportive of one another. And then Hermit, who is the creator of the stream, he approached me and he's like, yes, we would love to have you. And I'm like, oh my God,
Excellent.
let's go.
You're just kicking butt this year, and we're only about a few months into it.
I guess.
Yeah.
No, I feel like I got hit by a bus at some point, but it's been all good things. It's just like, okay, dang, I need a break.
Yeah. Oh. So
But
how would you describe the Morgan community?
oh goodness, they're adorable. They're good people.
Yeah.
They have the same mindset as me. They're positive, supportive. They're kind. They're funny. They can be sassy. They can be basically like all of my personality traits. They also have, and so it's like a bunch of old friends coming into chat and just hanging out. It's really nice.
Nice.
I love them.
Excellent. And now
They're hooligans, but I love them.
So for somebody who's, coming to your stream for the first time, what are they expecting?
Yeah.
Like what kind of, what are they in for?
Cozy vibes.
Yeah.
Lots of Hunt Showdown stabs and bomb lancing. Memes. They like to tell dad jokes. I hate dad jokes, but they tell dad jokes all the time, and I just kind of roll my eyes and let them do their thing. I try not to use the word wholesome, but they really are. They're really just wholesome individuals that are they're just so nice and kind to one another. Like if someone has a question about Hunt and they're new to Hunt, and we have like some OGs in chat, you'll get an answer. Like you're gonna get help. You're gonna be like, you're gonna exchange your Steam numbers and you're gonna play games, and that's just how they are.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Cool. So now, any content creators you think people should, check out, maybe flying under the radar?
Oh my gosh. This is such I have so many of them. I have so many. Man, I don't even know where to begin. I watch so many people.
Yeah.
Madam Slips, Lunar Fela, she just made partner as well.
Oh, wow.
You've got, oh gosh, so many people. Ifrit's amazing. JacJac's amazing. Oh my goodness. I don't even know.
Yeah.
I am Ghost Owl. He's one of those wholesome guys that, you just can't help but like love once you meet him. Mala Bruja, she's big on Hunt Showdown as well. You got Tame Hot Pear. Like, there's so many wonderful people. I could just give you a list like miles and miles long.
Awesome. All right. So now we talked a little bit before we started recording about, the chronic thing that you're dealing with right now, and and just to make sure people don't think I'm an asshole bringing this up, but you
had permissions.
Yes. So,
Yeah. I was just diagnosed with lupus this week.
Yeah.
And basically, wait, let me see if I can explain this correctly because like I'm still trying to wrap my brain around
Yeah.
it. Basically, it's a disease that occurs when your immune system attacks its own tissues and organs.
Oh, wow.
It's an autoimmune disease. Inflammation, pain in your joints, rashes on your skin, your kidneys can be damaged. Like it's a no joke autoimmune disease, and it's so hard to get diagnosed with it because there's always something else that could look similar, and
Right.
you got to kind of like figure out like, okay, is it this or is it that
Yeah.
before they really go to lupus, because lupus is just it's so hard to figure out. But it's one of those diseases that attacks the healthy tissues of your
Yeah.
body. And so like I'll have flare-ups and I'll have my good days and I'll have my bad
Yeah.
days. And like right now, currently I'm not on video because hi, I'm having a bad day. But it's just, it's something that I can kind of live with if
Yeah.
I eat correctly, if I get enough sleep, if I take care of myself. But yeah, it's kind of a big deal, but I don't want to make a big deal out of
Right.
it, if it makes sense.
Well, thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
It's some people would not do that, but like we talked earlier, you feel
Yeah.
it's something that you shouldn't hide from or anything like that.
No, I feel like I'm a very transparent person anyway.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's a lot of chronically ill people that stream on Twitch
Yeah.
because, they get to sit and they get to be comfortable
Yeah.
and socialize without that physicality of like a 9-to-5 job,
Right. Yeah.
which I understand. But it's raising awareness that, yeah, chronically ill people have all these things to deal with behind the scenes. And like, we're all, every single one of us on Twitch is human. And I preach this all the time. Like, you just never know what someone's going through.
Nope.
And I think if, we're a little bit more transparent and we're a little bit more honest and a little bit more supportive, we could make Twitch an even better place to stream.
Yep. Absolutely.
So,
Well, thank you for sharing that. And
Yeah.
hopefully people hear this and some people, do good things with it at least.
that would be great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love that.
All right. So now for this year, any goals? Well, you seem like you already hit it out of the park
I've hit
already.
so-
It's like what's
I've
left?
had so many. Oh my gosh. So at the beginning of the year, I always make like kind of like a list, right? Like
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of streamers do. Instead of making a list, I made a bingo
Okay.
card. Some real life things, some stream things,
Yeah.
some really big things, and then some really small things. That way it's like, I'm kind of like hitting on all levels.
Yeah.
And, making Crytek Partner was one of them. Getting on that stream team was another one.
Mhm.
But I think for me, I just want to continue growing
Yeah.
and learning and keep hitting those milestones, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really have any like huge bucket list stuff
Yeah.
left to do, but I'm just excited to see what this year brings
Yeah.
and
Excellent.
go from there.
So now, okay, so it's this bingo card. So what are prizes you're going to get if you get like a line
Oh
or?
my gosh. Well, that's the thing, right? Is like that would be the prize.
Yeah. I get.
Yeah.
Yes. True. Yes.
No, I mean, obviously, like each time I get something on my bingo card, I'll reward myself with something.
Yeah.
Like this year, I want to do TwitchCon in Paris, so
Oh,
I'm
wow.
saving up and working towards that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the reward in itself. Like I'd be in Paris,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
I want to do more cosplays this year.
Oh, have you done cosplays before?
I've done one, but it was like a baby cosplay. Like it was an easy one. So now I want to go into the more complicated ones
Yeah.
and like get the professional like photography of these cosplays and then stream obviously with them on too.
Ah, cool.
I
Any certain
know-
characters or?
I'm not going to tell you that. There's
All right.
prizes.
Oh,
I do have a
okay.
hunt related one coming up though.
Nice.
Yeah, we hit the sub goal for it. I'm putting all the pieces together, so it will be hunt related,
Yeah.
which is really exciting.
Oh, cool.
Other than that, I can't say much else because
problem.
they're all kind of working projects.
Yeah.
And and then you have like little things like get 20K followers on Twitch
Mm-hmm.
or, the numbers stuff, which is
Yes.
like, if I get it, great. But if I don't, that's fine too.
Right. Yeah.
Like, not much I can do about that. But
Now, have you been to a
yeah,
TwitchCon or a PAX before?
no, not a
Okay.
single one. I'm really excited though.
Yeah.
Like, imagine my first TwitchCon being in Paris.
That would be pretty cool.
Like, go big or go home, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I was supposed to go to the San Diego one this last year and just
Yeah.
couldn't. So I had to pass on that,
Yeah.
but hopefully this one works out.
Paris is going to be a good replacement, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Excellent. Is there any sponsors or anybody that you want to give a shout out to that's, sort of helped you along the way or been there for you?
Absolutely. Advanced GG, I've been partnered with them for a good amount of time now. They're absolutely wonderful. I'm also partnered with NZXT,
Mm-hmm.
which is a computer company online. You pick the parts, they build it and ship it.
Cool.
They're amazing. Obviously, Crytek.
Yes.
But yeah, they're like the three big ones that I'm just
Yeah.
like, I don't think I'd have the career that I have without those. So
That's amazing.
very grateful. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So now, when you go offline, I guess, well, first of all, let's go back a little bit and talk about
Okay.
what other content platforms are you creating content for? Are you hitting all of the short stuff, TikToks?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying. It's
Yeah.
hard to juggle.
Mm-hmm.
Like I see content creators that are just pushing content out, and I'm like, how do you do that?
Right.
I am on TikTok. I usually post about once a day. I haven't since drops started. I
Yeah.
haven't had the time. I'm on YouTube. I'm gonna aim for a YouTube partner this year. That's another one that's on my bingo card.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Like, you just never know with algorithm and like things like that. Like,
Yep.
it's still something I'm trying to figure out.
It's funny. You post one video and it takes off, and then another one, and it's like,
When it dies, yeah.
and it's like there's
Yeah.
like, and TikTok's the same way. It's like,
Yeah.
you put your heart into one video. It's like, oh, this one's gonna be awesome. It's like it fizzles, half a dozen views,
Yeah.
and the next
Nobody
one,
sees it. We're
Right,
like, damn. Okay. Well,
yeah, yeah,
I do want to go live on TikTok. I'm kind of getting ready to set that up.
Yeah.
I am on YouTube. I'm on Instagram. I think those are like the three major ones that I'm focused on right now. Anything else, I think I would have way too much on my plate.
Absolutely.
I think my plate's already overloaded anyway, but I think that's just being a content creator.
Exactly.
Honestly.
Yeah. And people don't. A lot of people don't realize, being a content creator, streaming, it's more than just playing video games. There's so much
Oh
involved.
yeah. Yeah. I had someone come into chat, first time chatter. Hopefully I can talk about this. They came in and they're like, you just play video games. You should get back to a real job. And I'm like, wow.
What?
I was like, this is a real
Somebody
job.
on Twitch came in who's watching video games, came in and
Yeah. And I'm like, you know what? This is actually two jobs, but I'll let that slide.
yeah.
So it's fine. I was like,
Oh,
I'm spending more energy on content creating than I did as a nurse, and that
Mhm.
should tell you a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You never really disconnect because there's a social
No.
aspect of it you got to keep
Yeah.
up. Yeah. No.
Yeah, like even if like I was telling you earlier, I try to take 3 days off of streams, but
Mhm.
that doesn't mean I'm taking 3 days off.
Right.
I do 1 day for recording for YouTube, TikTok, whatever,
Yeah.
and editing, and then I do another one for the networking games, making the TikToks, etc.
Yeah.
And then I do one where I try to unplug, but I usually fail.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I'm constantly like emails,
Mhm.
Twitter, Discord's going off, my server needs my attention.
Yeah.
There's always something.
Well, if there's a
So-
passion, there's a love you have for it. When you're doing something
Yeah.
you enjoy, your mind's always spinning about what you can do.
Yeah. Like what's my next move? Like what should I
Right.
be doing on like next? What should I be working on? What should I be like my brain never stops.
Yeah.
I think that's the most exhausting part of content creating is
Mhm.
like you feel like you're kind of spinning out sometimes.
Yeah.
And you're like waiting for that like all of your hard work to pay off, and then sometimes it just doesn't when you expect it to.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, okay, like, do I give up? Like, I'm disheartened. Like, what do I do? And I feel like that's something that every content creator struggles with, is that like what we call imposter syndrome.
Right.
And I'm just here to tell you, like, keep doing your thing. Just keep doing it, because I was so close to thinking about quitting streaming back in October. And then here in February, I'm Crytek Partner.
And now what made you stick with it?
I love it.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't want to just give up on it or quit, because it's like, well, if you look around at the things that you love, you don't quit on them.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's the same with content creation. Now, if you're wondering, well, do I even love doing this anymore? That's different.
Yes. Yep.
But if you're plateauing, but you absolutely love what you do, just keep doing it.
Yep.
It'll get back on its tracks, you know?
Yep.
You can't force it.
Nope.
You got to keep with it.
Yep. Totally. All right. So now when you do disconnect, take those days off, what are some of the things you like to do?
You mean aside from binging Survivor?
Binging Survivor and go nostalgia on old TV shows.
Oh my gosh. I like to read books. I go hiking. I go for daily jogs.
Yeah.
Because it clears my head.
What books do you recommend?
Oh God. I just got done reading Neon Gods. It's actually like a series. It's kind of like its own rendition of like the Olympus heroes, like Hercules, Zeus, etc. It's its own rendition of those gods. Cool. But I just finished reading that. It's a series, so I have more books to read.
Yeah.
But that was a really fun read. Cool. Other than that, I'm drawing a blank. There's so many books.
And then TV series, you're into the Survivor. What, any other
right
ones?
now? Yeah, I go through cycles. Like like I'll watch the Netflix series You, and they just came out with I think the second half of their newest season. I'm rewatching some of the older seasons of Survivor. Like, it just really depends on my mood. Like, sometimes, like, okay, do I want my guilty pleasure shows where it has all the drama and stuff that my real life doesn't have? Or do I want to watch something like Penny Dreadful, where they're like, there's like horror aspects and there's this big storyline and things like that. And I love it all. Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Cool. All right. Well, hey, we're at the end of the pod here. But before I let you go, though, I got to ask you to shout out somebody in your circle that you think has a good story that should come on and share theirs.
Oh, my goodness. You're putting me on the spot.
I know, it's you can't have a fully easy pod. There's got to be something like, oh, my God, who do I pick?
Oh, no. Oh, my gosh. JacJac.
All right, there we go. JacJac's been called out.
First name that popped into my head. She's absolutely amazing, and she does a lot of great things over there. But I'm sure she has a juicy story for you too.
Oh, excellent. Well, you're the second Hunt person on the pod, and Death was the first. And I look forward to meeting JacJac.
She's lovely. You'll love her.
Excellent. Well, Morgan, thank you so much for doing this. It's been wonderful meeting you.
Nice to meet you too. Thanks
have
so
a good
much.
night.
You too.